Love and immunity, beloveds. May this day be a day where truth reveals itself for itself, because of itself, and through itself. My mom used to tell me one thing, and she would say, "This is life." I had this pain inside of me since I was a kid. I had this horrible, horrible pain inside of me since I was a kid. And nobody can understand it. No one could understand it. And my mom, every time I would go to her and tell her something, and I love my mom. Let me tell you, my mom is the most beautifulest person that I've ever met in my life. One thing about my mom is she never showed drama. She never showed any type of negativity around us. I may have had to go through a lot of things outside of her, but when it came to my mom, she represented class at its highest nature. Stayed in school always. When we were kids, my mom ran the projects. When we were kids, my mom set examples for all of us. I didn't take after those examples because of some trauma that happened to me during that process. And that wasn't my testament to life. That wasn't my life. That wasn't my life. But when it comes to my mom, I get this class. I get this humbleness. I get this respect. And I get this beauty from my mom. One of the most amazing women that could have shown me how to be humble inside of this existence, as this life, and this life abundantly. So I want to just put my mom out there for who she truly is. Yes, she did allow some things to happen in my life that broke me, which mostly all moms have done, because look at what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a broken spirit of life. But when it comes to my mom, may not be close to her, may not be as close as I want to be to her, but that spirit that lives inside of me, that beautiful, beautiful spirit, the one in which never showed me any darkness, whether she was going through it or not, never showed me any drama, whether she was going through it or not, never pushed off anything on me, whether she was going through it or not. So as I speak today, my mom used to tell me, this is life. When I woke up this morning, my meditation was just on that. These last couple of days has been my last bit of purging. See, your last bit of purging when you're coming out of the wilderness, like when you're literally coming completely out of the wilderness, which is the life that you once believed was your life. My mom used to tell me, this is life. But this is a universal law that no one can dispute. It's called existence. And that's not my life. My life is existence. I see life as the head. I've always seen life as the head. And that is what that deep down pain in me was. It was my soul. That pain was my soul crying out. And as I come to the end of my purging, because this is all life is about, a purging. See, a lot of people don't realize that we are the immunity to life. Each and every one of us, we are the immunity to life. We carry a seed called life in this beautiful testament. It says the kingdom of heaven lives within. And many people don't know that their life represents the spirit of the environment that they dwell in, because we fragment it, we denominalize, we separate it. When Jesus states, I and my Father are one, Jesus is stating to us that we are one body within existence. Each and every one of us, we are one body within existence. Internal, the kingdom of heaven lives without, and then external, the kingdom of heaven lives within and without, micro and macro. As internal, so external. As on heaven, so in earth. So we are the very substance of life. We feed existence, which means that we create reality. That's what it means by in the Bible when it says you feed through your branches. God feeds you through your branches. Yes, elements feed an element. Life feeds life. Death feeds death. Happiness feeds happiness. Slave mentality feeds slave mentality. Hate feeds hate. As within, so without. So all of my life, hearing that, my mom she would tell me this is life, and that's truly what she felt, and I would understand why. She was coming from a time where life wasn't equal, and it's still not equal. Life is still not equal, beloveds, and we choose this. This is our sin. Our sin is not representing the fabric of the existence that we all came here to be the becoming of. Thy kingdom come. This is the kingdom. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done as on heaven and on earth. I and my Father are one. You're one existence. And yet, just like I stated, some people said, no, 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 no. We got a whole background of this wrath against existence. We got a whole background to back up what I'm saying. Spirit is like, ooh, 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 ooh. So anyways, this morning when I woke up, usually I wake up with a testament, like literally something from the Bible come and is feeding me this morning's message for existence. But this morning when I woke up, my heart was sad again. For the last couple of days, I've been sad because I've been coming into the real understanding of truth. And truth hurts. Not the petty truth like somebody talking about me because who I sleep with or who I hang around with. That's petty. That's drama truth. That's ignorant truth. But I'm talking about the truth of existence. See, when you start learning the truth of existence, when my mother used to say, this is life, no, that was the life that you had placed inside of you. It says, surely if you eat from that tree of good and evil, you're going to die. So my mom learned to eat from something that broke her spirit, which is broke her understanding of what life was. I came to give you life and life abundantly, beloveds. So my mom, see, a lot of us don't realize that because we are internal. This is why I say internal wellness life coach. Everything is taking place inside of this kingdom. It says God, man or human looks outwardly, but God looks inwardly. And that's what I am. I'm an inwardly godly being. Internal being. This is what I call myself. No one had to give me this name. It's my genetic makeup. It's my biology. It's my biological state of being. And it's the science of my own nature, which no one can dispute but that person out there trying to feed me from the tree of good and evil. That person feeding me from their tree of good and evil, they're the ones disputing life. They're the ones tainting life. They're the ones destroying life. They're the ones feeding us from a source and a substance that is not part of our nature. But that's all God's understanding. I give that over to God, and God will handle that accordingly to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me, God. I let go and I let God on that understanding, because there's a law to this land, and it's not called life. It's called truth. There's a truth to this land. And my mom would tell me this is life every time I would come to her. I hurt. My heart is like, oh, I hurt so much in my life. I feel this pain that never went away. A lot of people call it depression. But when you realize there's no such thing as depression, that's what human makes up about a soul. They call it depression, but what it's called is called when your heart is not guarded. When your heart is not receiving the right nutrients to its testament of life. That's what depression is. When you're not receiving the right nutrients. It's not called iron. It's not called calcium. It's not called any of those pill names. It's called existence. It's called life. So when this body does not receive life, when it doesn't receive its abundance to life, you see, because life is, it says, I and my Father are one. It's a wholeness. Let me tell you, life is a wholeness. It's a wholeness. Do you understand me? If there's 100 in everything, everything is 100% wholeness. This candle, 100% wholeness. Okay? And I want to use an example that we can all use, because we gotta face some facts. You're never going to heal. You're never going to change. You're never going to get the immunity to life if what lives inside of you is broken. See, it says, guard your heart through the well springs of life flow. And the very thing that if somebody wanted to keep your life against you, all they would have to do was break your heart. And I had a lot of heartbreak in my life to know this to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And that I know the purpose of my heart. Know thyself and you will know me. I know my purpose. Nothing in the world taught me my purpose. See, I live in the kingdom of heaven within. I live in existence. Not only is existence living in me, existence is all around me as well. All around me. There ain't nothing that is not a part of my elemental kingdom, which it means existence. See, a lot of people don't understand that existence is elemental, which means that it takes care of itself. As long as it's not being fed by something that's not of its nature. So we know that this candle was 100% made up. It's 100%. Everything about it is not, it don't have no, it's not cut in half. It's not cut in fourths. It's not cut in 1/3. It's a whole. Okay, so I want to use this example because I got to use things that our minds know because it lives inside of us. See, existence, everything that's ever happened in existence lives inside of this kingdom. When I tell you you got trillions of cells, each and every one of us, we have trillions and trillions of cells living inside of this kingdom. And those cells represent every form of existence, which you call life. You guys just believe in life. But there's something that created life, and that is called existence. That's when you're looking up here as the head and not the tail. Because people who think about life and death, you're not thinking about where you came from. You're thinking about some made up shit. It's just made up. Because life and death is a mentality. It's a mindset. It's not real unless you give it reality. So you're thinking as what I call the bottom feeders. You're thinking as like a peasant. You're thinking as the peasant. And is this good or bad? No, it's not. It's just I got to give you an understanding of truth in order for it to start breaking up all that mucus inside of this kingdom. Because a lot of people don't know that they got a lot of foreign substance attached to their beautiful testament of life. You got these little foreign natures living inside of you, feeding off of your beautiful, beautiful spirit, feeding off of your spirit, using your spirit and making you feel like depression, sadness, taking in relationships that don't serve you, being around people who don't love you, being in situations that cast stones upon you, being around people who judge you. See, these little entities that dwell in this kingdom, they feed off of your heart. This is what you need to know about the heart. You don't have nothing to do about the Bible. I just use the Bible because we all know, we all got that testament. We biblical existence, which means you're cellular. Which means biblical means that you have a memory cell. That's what the cell of life means. When God said, don't go and conform me to the world. Stay renewed in my mind. So that mind is your biblical story, which is those trillions and trillions of cells that live in this beautiful testament, and they tell a beautiful story about existence. They don't tell a beautiful story about life. They tell a beautiful story about existence. And it says, what does a man profit if he gains the whole world but loses his soul? So your soul is what you would call existence. It's the head. It's always looking down at everything that's made up. That's made up. Just made up. Existence knows that's not me. That's not a me. You know, existence is existence. Just like this candle is a candle. It's just a candle. So is existence. So existence is looking down at everything. Existence is not a candle. Existence is not this. Existence is not this. Existence is just existence, beloveds. And my mom would always tell me, this is life. And I'm thinking, well, shit. This hurts. It hurts. So that's one statement. That one statement right there allowed me to believe that life should hurt me. So all of my life, I just let life abuse me. I let everything in life abuse me, because my mom said, this is life. When I would come to her and I would tell her, Mom, she couldn't get it. Nobody can get it, because I'm not of this world. I'm of the internal world. See, humanity sees outwardly, but a soul sees inwardly. So my mom couldn't get my pain. No one could understand my pain. No one can understand the pain of being in a beautiful, beautiful testament of life. Seeing things way up here, seeing things so different that you know that this is the twilight zone. You know that this is the twilight zone. I can't be seeing things so different than everybody around me. But what I saw was the pain. My life wasn't about everything around me. That right there, I can process everything because my eyes are the all-seeing eyes. So I always was able to process anything. I'm the processor of life by being an internal being. But what I could not process was the pain. I just couldn't process that pain. I could not believe that I should endure that pain. I just didn't believe that I should endure that pain, because I'm not causing it to myself. I was not causing it to myself. Whether somebody wants me to believe this, see, there's a lot of manipulators. Their minds have been taken over by this little entity called a lie. A lie is just a lie. And the truth is the truth. That's why Jesus said the truth will set you free. Why would the truth set you free? Because everything that is in this kingdom is called existence. It's called existence. That's why I say stay renewed in my mind. Because your mind holds the key of existence. Holds the key of existence. That's what your mind does, your renewed mind. The mind that has not been tainted. The mind that has not been reprogrammed. The mind that has not been given over to the world and to its conformity, which means its doctrine, its beliefs, its understandings, its systems, its foundations, its structures, its entities. Because those are their understandings. But this kingdom has its own directive. It has its own understanding that surpasses all understanding. See, this kingdom has an understanding where you don't have to be taught. It says, ask, and it shall be given unto you. Ask, and it shall be given unto you. This kingdom has its own understanding, beloveds. It needs no understanding. It needs no doctrine. It needs no teacher. It needs no government. It needs no religion. It needs no mother. It needs no father. It doesn't. Why? Because this kingdom, this whole beautiful testament is called existence. And inside of this testament, you got trillions and trillions and trillions of We would call them ancestors in the spirit realm. Spiritual people would say you got trillions of ancestors living in you. But existence would say you got a whole body of existence as your nature. You and I, we have a whole body of existence as our nature. I don't have to call them ancestors. I can just call it for what it is. See, because I'm up here, I'm existence, and I'm seeing all of this as existence. My whole biological and biology and science is existence. Everything that dwells inside of this kingdom, it said the kingdom of heaven lives within. And the kingdom on earth, it said we were given dominion over that kingdom. Well, that is its own existence too. It's called nature. Well, the same thing that lives in that kingdom lives in this kingdom. It's called nature, or what we call existence. Science calls it nature. But being up here, I call it existence, greater than nature, because nature can be altered now, but existence can never be altered. Never. Existence can never, ever, ever be altered. Now it can be manipulated. Oh yes, it can be manipulated. That's what these last couple of days have been going on inside of me. Seeing all the manipulation, just seeing it, and my heart is just hardened. Not hardened in the way that I say Pharaoh's heart was hardened. It's hardened because I'm taking in so much understanding that it hurts. That feeling that I had when I was a kid, that feeling that I could not explain to anyone, my soul is angry. My soul is angry because it knows. It's like I knew who I was. I literally knew who I was. And now my soul is angry at me. And a lot of people don't understand when our soul, see, this is all about the soul's journey. And when the soul is not getting fed what it needs, not antibiotics, not pills, not iron, not calcium, but existence. You hear me? You got to be fed by the same source of existence that you are. It's called existence. And existence must feed its child. I and my Father are one. I'm not separated from that existence, or I would not be living. There would be no way for me to be living if existence was not dwelling in me. So you have to be fed by your existence. That's why Jesus said the truth would set us free. There's no other reason, because your truth is existence. And that is what is it set free? Its child, which is the spirit, or what you call the soul. What does a man profit if he gains the whole world but loses his existence? Oh yes, this is why we die. Surely if you be fed by that tree of good and evil, your ass is going to die. And right now, I'm coming to this beautiful truth where my soul is now freed. My soul is now freed. And it's hurting. It's hurting because now I'm seeing all the little things that people did to me. And I'm not seeing the ones who know not what they do. I'm seeing the ones who knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. And it hurts because there's a such thing as love. There is a such thing as love, beloveds. And it is our heart. Just that heartbeat every day that allow you to know I got you, baby. I got you. You don't need to worry about anything. And it says, what does worry add on to a day of your lifespan? And I worried. I held a worry inside of this heart every day of my life. trying to live up to this world, trying to be perfect in that world's understanding, giving all that I got onto that world's understanding, taking this beautiful, beautiful spirit, this beautiful resonance. See, a lot of y'all don't know that you run this world. You run this world. If you took your immunity back from this world, from the thieves, the people who come to kill, steal, and destroy because they don't have no immunity. If you got to steal somebody else's existence and you take yours back from them, oh, Spirit is like, thank you, sweetheart. You take your spirit back for them. When it says these are the end of days, that's what Spirit is going to do. Spirit is going to take its existence back from everybody who denied its right, beloveds. See, my mom would say, this is life. Mom, this is not life. If you are listening to me today, I thank you for the life that you granted me access to. I thank you. It was through you that I got to this beautiful testament of life. And I want to give all credit due where credit is due, and that is to you. Because of your humbleness, because of your peaceful heart, which I know at many times in your life you could have taught me something different than what I saw in you by what you were going through. You could have led me in another direction because of what I saw you go through. But you said something so beautiful to me one day, and that was the day that I truly became what the world calls a woman. And that testament right there allowed me to see life in a whole different truth. A whole different truth when you said you got to break cycles. You got to break cycles. I can only teach you what my mom taught me. So that day, I remember, let me tell y'all, I was a hot mess, beloveds. I was a hot mess. I can remember that day. Hysterical, just hysterical, because I'm in a bad relationship, pregnant, got, how many babies did I have at that time? I had 2 babies, one with cerebral palsy. Let me tell y'all don't know my journey. My journey is not one that many people could have endured and still stay walking in the fabric of this existence. 2 babies, 9 months apart, one with cerebral palsy, the other one, she just now learning how to walk and learn herself in this world. And then I'm pregnant again with another one. I'm going through all this chaos in my world, in my relationship. I'm going down to mental health, telling these people to admit me. Y'all can't understand the pain that this heart has had to endure, not being able to understand that my soul was crying out to me for so long in my life. See, you have something living inside of you. It's called a heart. And see, when this heart is not being fed, it's not being fed by what you would call truth, what Jesus said would set us all free. When this soul is not being fed by truth or by its own substance of life, it's called chaos. I'm not the author of chaos, because I feed you life, and I feed you life abundantly. But see, when you have not ever been fed truth, not a day in your life. You ain't never been fed truth. You've been eating from the tree of good and evil all your life. And the tree that you've been eating from, it goes back generations from when you were not even considered. Remember when we were not even considered, was we 16% human? So you don't realize that you got a whole existence inside of you that has been deprived. You got a whole genetic makeup inside of you that has been taken through so much abuse, ain't never been fed, one substance of existence in the day of his life, beloveds. And you living inside of this kingdom. See, humanity thinks outwardly, but God thinks inwardly. He knows that he's a heart. Well, that's what I knew I was. I knew that I was that heart. I knew that all of life was taking place in me, and I was hurting. I was hurting so bad. And I just couldn't comprehend. I couldn't fathom the fact that somebody would hurt you so freaking bad and not think to question what type of damage you would be doing to this person. How could a person be so evil? How could a person not know what they are doing is causing another person harm and just dismiss the fact that you can destroy a life? You hear me? The thief comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Because the only thing that we guaranteed, and a lot of y'all won't get this because you still believing that we should die. That's that poison you've been fed by that world of conformity. You've been fed a lot of poison. So what you got leeching off of you is death. Death talking in your head right now. It's called the ego mind. See, death is talking inside of you right now, trying to get you to surrender. Surrender your whole existence so it can live on forevermore. Casting stones. Creating an adversary inside of this beautiful existence. See, death is nothing but that mucosa. It's called mucus. And it comes and it starts invading and eating away at your body. See, we give life and death power. This ain't life. See, because life is existence. And it will never eat away at your heart. It says, guard your heart through the well springs of life flow. See, existence ain't gonna never eat away at your heart. Well, as a kid, up into today, that's what's been happening to this kingdom. My heart has been, my heart has been plagued with the pain of nothing but darkness. And as I woke up this morning, what I realized is that we live in collective immunities. We all live in collective immunities. My mom said this is life, and I can truly understand what she was meaning by saying that. As a kid, life shouldn't hurt this way. Like I'm not doing anything to deserve this. This is what got me to this point, knowing that I never done anything to deserve this. And some people will say, oh, it's karma. But I know that's not the truth. That's ignorance. That's ignorance, his voice speaking in their head. Because if I'm fed by my source, if I'm fed by my truth, which is my own nature, which is my own existence would not punish me. My own existence would not lead me in fear. My own existence would not lead me in racism. My own existence would not tell me anything but what I am. Tell him I am sent me. Okay, so when you sitting up here as the head, you know this to be true. And I knew this to be true, but I'm down in this life. Getting what my mom truly said on this day, this morning, as I woke up, I truly got that understanding when she would say, this is life. That's what she believed life was, but that's not life. That's called death. That was called death. That was called a slow genocide. And I know my mom's heart. I know my mom's heart. You want to know why? Because I am a seed. And this heart right here, this heart is an immunity to existence. So I know what I was being soiled in. My mom don't get that though, because she comes from an era where her time, that was life. But inside of this kingdom, when you become who you are, it says, tell them I am sent me, my soul sent me here. Existence sent me here. And I've always knew that. And nobody could ever tell me that I did not know this, but a lie. It's a lot of spirits of lies living inside of people's minds. They know not what they do. They know not what they do. But I do. And today when I woke up, I came into this beautiful understanding that this spirit, although I know the spirit is one. And see, I've been getting the testament, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of darkness. And then this morning I keep hearing valley, 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 valley. Though I walk through the shadow of the valley of darkness. And all I keep hearing is valley. And then I just keep putting that valley. What are you talking about, spirit? What are you talking about? It just keeps valley, valley, valley. And then I'm sitting here not realizing that I'm living in the valley. I'm living in the valley right now. Just common sense start telling me. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. And then the other day, see, it all will come to you. Yesterday's message brought this one. It's like the more I ask, just talk about how I feel, express my truths, and never deny my heart's desires, which is how I'm feeling. See, my heart's desires is existence. Your heart's desires is conformity, like having a business or having money, or those things are already yours. They belong to you. Remember, you run this world. It's your spirit that tell this world what to do. You want your spirit conform to what? Slave mentality, peasantry, hate, evil, injustice, fear, punishment. That's what you want your spirit to dwell as in your kingdom. That's you. You all house that spirit. Remember, this is spirit. It's only existence doing this for us. Ask, and it shall be given. Seek, and you shall find. So, but in the end of days, it says truth gonna set us free. And you're gonna be judged by your fruit. Judgment day. That's what you ask for. You're gonna get what you ask for. Exactly what you ask for. How does God know your heart? By the immunity you got pumping through it. That's how I know my testament. My heart has always been existence. Always. And it always told me who I was. That's why I can see things up here, never down here. I can see. I wasn't doing nothing to receive that hurt. That was not karma. Nobody can tell me that was karma. And if that person want to tell me, if you want to tell me that, let me send truth to you right now. Anybody who has ever told me this, thank you, Spirit. Thank you so much, Spirit. I want to send that truth to you. So truth can confirm to you that you have this mucosa called a lie living inside of you, eating off of your immunity. Feeding off of you, letting you feed it life. And then letting you feed that life into other people. Though I may walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, because that's not my immunity. That's not my substance. That's not my mentality. My mentality is existence. My mentality is truth. And I will never, never, ever, ever hurt another person. This is one thing in my life that I've stood obedient to, because I know the pain that this soul, I know it. You know, if you know what depression is, beloveds, if you know what cancer is, if you know what illness is, if you know what sickness is, it ain't got nothing to do with conformity's understanding. It got to do with your soul's understanding. You see, because this vessel, it has to be fed proper nutrients called existence. It has to be fed nutrients called existence. It can't be fed beliefs. It can't be fed duality. It can't be fed doctrine. It can't be fed spelling. It can't be fed math. It can't be fed degrees. It can't be fed houses. It can't be fed cars. It can't be fed money. It has to be fed existence. Yes. That's what this life is. This kingdom's food is called existence. Has to be fed its own life. Can't be fed nothing else but its own life, its own existence. Or it becomes hardened by mucosa, which is sickness. See, in the Bible, when it speaks about sickness, sin, and death, this is what happens. When it says our hardened Pharaoh's heart, well, that's mucus. It's called mucus. It's called sickness. So the body becomes sick. So if you want to know what sickness is when you are never being fed any immunity to your own existence. Never. You ain't never been fed your own nourishment. You ain't never been nourished. Everything that you got dwelling in you is eating away at your everything inside of you. I know this good and well. Y'all can't even comprehend. I am this living testament. I am this living truth. I came here as the book of that life, as that story. And this morning when I woke up, the only thing that I can think about was, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and don't cast your pearls, which is your existence, upon swine. Now realizing that those testaments the other day, that was God talking to me. God was talking to me. And then as I laid here this morning, I started feeling that pain, that deep, deep pain that I felt as a kid, that debilitating pain. For the last 3 years, something has been immobilizing me. Like this big, dark spirit. It's like I've been taken over. Like somebody was working dark magic on me. For the last 3 years, one thing about me is I can lose weight easy. There's some things that I just got superpowers to do. Always had them. My will of life, my will of existence has been unstoppable, undeniable, indestructible. But over the last 3 years, something was darkening me. And I'm not meaning darkening me like how the world is walking in the valley of the shadow of death. I mean like something around me was hosting this energy to keep me down. To keep me down. And I felt it. It was bringing me back into my depression. It was taking me back into the things that happened to me. It was intentional though. This is what I feel as a kid. I felt like this is all being done to me on purpose. I don't deserve this. See, when you know you're not deserving of something, when you truly know you're not deserving of something, you know I'm not doing anything to cause this. I'm truly not doing anything to cause this. Yes, I made some bad decisions in my life, but I know why I made them. I made them because what lives in me is a lot of pain. I carry the genetic makeup of not just the slave mentality mind that I believe I am as this black person, the understanding of being a woman, the understanding of being what this environment tells me I should live by, dwell by, understand, believe I am. I carry the genetic makeup of everything that this soul has gone through. So, of course, I'm going to do bad things. Of course, I'm going to do things in my life that are not healthy because I'm living in an environment. I'm like, everything I've been taught, everything that I know is sick. I ain't never been fed a day in my life besides what I tell you when I would go within and let God lay on God's imaginary heart, not knowing that I was touching bases with my own soul, not realizing that when I would go into my heart thinking, because I had to live in my imagination my whole life, beloveds. I had to live in my imagination my whole life, or I would be a cuckoo bird right now, which many of y'all probably believe I am, but I ain't. What I see in that world, that's pure ignorance. That's sickness. That's sin, and that is death. Now that's what I call a cuckoo bird. But no, take no offense to what I'm saying, because believe me, I've been called that my whole life. You know how many times I was called stupid, crazy, judged, cast upon by evil itself, fed lies by lies itself, discriminated by discrimination itself, hated by hate itself, judged by judgment itself. I mean, though I walked through the valley of the shadow of death, I couldn't fear no evil. Because something inside of me kept telling me, no, sweetheart, you don't deserve that. You do not deserve that. And this is why I say I live to prove people wrong. I live to prove people wrong. Why? Because I knew I did not deserve it. Now, if I just would have laid down like a dog, yes, sir, yes, sir, master. Oh, y'all can't even imagine what I would have had to endure. Y'all think what I had to endure? I had to watch this valley of the shadow of death sacrifice my child and make me believe that I did it. I just been believing all my life that I should endure this because my mom believed she should endure it. And mom, I want to tell you, one thing that I want to tell you is thank you. Thank you for above all that you went through, because I know you went through a lot. I saw it. I saw it. You stayed pure in heart. And I know what you're going through right now. I know your illness is because you held in everything like I held it in. And that's what I was saying that day when we were in Vegas and your other children said that I said something bad about you. No, I didn't say anything bad about you. That's what I was saying. And they had bad minds and they took it bad. I know why you are why you are. I know why you did the things that you did, and it was always to preserve me. My heart just said thank you. It was always to preserve me, your baby. I knew who I was at the beginning, being your first, being your first. I remember those days when you put nothing above me. I do remember those days. So I just want to tell you thank you. Yeah, something else came in. See, darkness, it knows that pure, it knows that pure heart. Darkness knows that pure heart. So I just want to tell you thank you, Mom, and I love you. I love you so much, and I got so much respect for you. And maybe this testament is to me and you both. Maybe this one message right here is for me and you both. But as I woke up this morning, my testament was about this spirit. This spirit. Like, I'm engulfed around a spirit that has abused the shit out of me. As I laid there this morning, feeling the pressure. That's what I mean by hardened. I was feeling the pressure of not being truthful, of not being honest. See, we have to be truthful. If you want to start releasing some of that pressure, the monkey off your back, if you want to start releasing some of this, some of all that pressure that's just weighing you down. For the last 3 years, I've been weighed down because I'm living in a community, in an immunity. See, we got to remember that this is nothing but a spirit. Everything is a spirit. You want to believe that it's the body, but this city is a spirit. It's a spirit. And it's the spirit of how the mind works in this community. And when I was laying there this morning, hey, good morning, Curtis. Good morning. Thank you for joining. And thank you for your love. Thank you so much for your love. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate it so, so much. Thank you. And as I was laying there this morning, I started to think of all the trauma this spirit has caused me. I've been here since I was 14. And then I just looked back. God just took me back, all the way back. It's time to be truthful. See, because we are coming into a harvest. And if you want your harvest to be a good harvest, you got to let go of all the bad. You got to let go of all the bad. And then when you got to understand that everything that is bad in you is a spirit. See, we can have a spirit of hate in us. We can have a spirit of suffering in us. We can have a spirit of punishment in us. We can have a spirit of enslavement in us. We can have all types of spirits living in this kingdom. And as I, being an internal being, I know that I'm not that spirit. I've always known I've never been the spirit of any of those things. Although they've been cast upon me, it says they are it to cast the very first stone. See, you casting stones upon existence. You casting stones upon somebody's immunity, which is their life substance. You're casting stones, which means death. A stone is when you cast a spirit against somebody's soul, which means existence. See, it says, what does a man profit if he gains the whole world but loses his soul? That's your existence. I came here to give you life. That's how I came here, to give you life and life abundantly, is by giving you that spirit, that soul. So when you cast in the stone against somebody's spirit, this is what I felt in this environment. I feel stones. This spirit is so heavy. It's so heavy. And it's so dark. I lost, if you can't even understand how many babies I lost in this spirit. And my spirit is like, my whole body is like, and many people would say I'm wrong about saying this. Many people would say, no, hold that shit in and not tell your truth. And let it eat away at your heart. Let it eat away at your soul. But my soul says, not today. I'm free. I'm free. I'm free to speak the truth. I'm free to heal my nation. I'm free to ensure the immunity to life that other people just cannot do because they are still enslaved. They're still enslaved in that mentality of conformity. They're still enslaved in that outwardly appearance. They ain't never been able to go inside. Yeah, you may shine like gold with money and cars and houses and all that ignorance. But when it comes to this kingdom, this got to be immunity. This got to be community. This got to be uplifting. This got to be so guarded that it cannot welcome anything that's not perfect in its own existence into this kingdom. That's what success is. That's what greatness is. When you get this world so godly, so righteous, so loving, so pure, that all it can do is have eyes to see, have knowledge to know. My people perish because of lack of knowledge. We out here dying. We out here living in poverty. We out here begging. We out here living up underneath our own means, not because we lazy. Not because we lazy, because some people are greedy. Because some people got lion spirits in them. Some people got greedy spirits in them. Some people got enslavement spirits in them. Some people got spirits dwelling in their immunity. See, I watched those spirits as they took my kids. See, these spirits don't have no discernment over you. They don't have no empathy, no sympathy, or no love because they just like this candle. It's not real. They're hardened. Their hearts are hardened. Those spirits don't say, hey, that's a person. That's a life. That's an existence. Those spirits don't see you like this. Those spirits see you just like this candle, a figment of their own imagination. They can't see you as love. They can't see you as existence. Those spirits that dwell inside us, in this spirit, I watch those spirits. I watched them. I had eyes to see those spirits that's been coming against me. And they don't have no discernment over life. They don't have no discernment over you. They don't have no discernment over your existence. They don't have nothing. They can't even see you as anything worthy. The spirit of greed, that's a wicked motherfucker. Ugh, my spirit is like, yeah, because it knows you. It knows the hurt that you've caused to its existence. See, what y'all don't understand is that this soul is one. This soul don't discriminate against you and I. I and my Father are one. This soul knows that I'm you, you me. We are one. We all one. We all one existence. And that soul don't see you as Pharaoh. That soul sees you as existence. I tell my daughter this all the time. I tell my baby this. I got a 10-year-old for all you guys who really don't know my story. And for those of you who know my story, I tell my daughter this all the time. I say, I give you your free will for a reason. I give you your free will because I know what it feels like to have mine done. Somebody taking my free will away from me caused me to have to bury 2 of my children and to lose more than 2 of them. Somebody taking away my free will caused me mental health, permanent disability, where I'm still today trying to heal from that trauma. Somebody taking away my free will. So I tell my daughter this all the time.